Good morning, welcome to CATEX-TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. This is a live broadcast from Princeton, New Jersey. Today is Monday, November 2nd, 2009. It's 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in the United States. It's 4:30 p.m. in London, 12:30 p.m. in Bermuda, and 10:30 a.m. in Mexico City. If you need to reach us during the broadcast, you can phone in toll-free at 1-866-67-CATEX. Overseas, our AOL instant mail address is CATEX-TV. The 101-year-old CIT Group filed for bankruptcy late last night. They had debts exceeding $10 billion. The U.S. Treasury, through the TARP program, had made $2.5 billion available to them. It's likely that that money will be lost, as will all of the holdings possessed by shareholders. The group provides financing to medium, large, and medium businesses in the United States, and it is now in bankruptcy. Now to our main news. The death toll in a massive fire at an oil depot in western India has now increased to 11. The blaze is finally beginning to die out. The fire was caused by a suspected oil pipeline leak at the Indian Oil Corporation's compound out at Jaipur in the western state of Rajasthan. Rajasthan is a desert area. The police are saying that 2 bodies have been spotted near the facility, but that rescuers could not retrieve them because the temperature of the fire was too high. It's believed that they are in fact employees of the company. There's a front page story today in the Insurance Day newspaper by Christopher Monroe saying that claims from the disaster could reach in excess of US $30 million. Meanwhile, specialist firefighters have been called in to battle another significant fire that's broken out on a leaking oil rig in the Timor Sea. That fire broke out yesterday as workers on the West Atlas rig were attempting to plug a leak that had been spewing about 400 barrels of oil a day into the ocean for more than 2 months. Nobody was injured in the fire. However, the Thai company which operates the platform says that they do not yet have the fire under control. And Australian Senator Bob Brown, the leader of the Green Party, said that the leak had been a catastrophe for the environment, and the news now goes from bad to worse. With the fire, it's one of the biggest environmental catastrophes in Australian history. The leak that the oil workers had been attempting to plug was some 2.5 kilometers under the seabed, not under the water, but under the seabed. So that's been a tricky problem for them to manage to do. Meanwhile, in Russia, 11 people were killed when a Russian military cargo plane crashed in Siberia. The plane crashed on takeoff. All the crew members on board were those that were killed. The plane was an Ilyushin 62. It was a 4-engine plane. The plane was trying to gain altitude on takeoff. It did not reach more than 300 feet in the air. It was carrying no cargo but was fully loaded with fuel tanks. The plane, was an Ilyushin 76, that 4-engine model. It's been the mainstay of the Soviet and Russian Air Force since the 1970s. Meanwhile, the Philippines have seen another hit, this one from Typhoon Miranay. It smashed through the central part of the country on Friday, killing at least 4 people, bringing more floods. The previous 2 hurricanes or typhoons had grazed the northern part of the country along Luzon. This one came right in over the center of Laguna province, just south of Manila. The typhoon, what it hit, was bringing in winds of 115 miles per hour. It's caused power outages and knocked down trees across many areas of the city of Manila, which has over 12 million people. South of Manila, a fire in a slum has just killed 16 people this morning. It spread through an area known as Bacolod City. More than 60 nearby shanties were also gutted. It's speculated that the fire may have been started by a candle lit by one of the residents to honor the dead on All Souls Day, which is today in the Christian faith. Meanwhile, there was a 6.2 magnitude earthquake that occurred just south of Tonga this morning. No immediate reports of damage or injuries. It struck at 10:47 p.m. local time. There was also another earthquake that just struck in China, in the southwestern part of the country, toppling more than 1,000 houses, killed hundreds of livestock. It was a 4.9. It struck in Yunnan province at a depth of about 35 kilometers. No reports of any deaths or other injuries yet. Meanwhile, in Turkey, a flash flood has killed a 6-month baby boy. In the northwestern part of the country, heavy rains pounded much of the country. The boy was swept away from his father's arms. Since Thursday, much of Turkey has been hit by heavy rains, which have inundated houses in the country's biggest city of Istanbul, as well as in the southeastern part of the country. In South America, officials in southern Colombia have issued a code orange alert for the newly active Galeras volcano, which they say can erupt in a matter of days or weeks. Authorities say they're continuing to monitor the nearby Huila volcano, also on orange alert, where sizable volcanic activity has also been detected. The Galeras volcano is on the southern border with Ecuador. It's Colombia's most active volcano. It began rumbling on October 27th. Some 7,000 people live in the vicinity of the volcano. The volcano is over 14,000 feet high. Back to the Australian area, a search for more than 20 passengers is underway after a boat sank far off the Australian coast by the Cocos Islands. The Australian Navy said a merchant ship that responded to a distress call had rescued 17 people from the Indian Ocean last night, and it's continuing to look for 25 more. The sinking was about 2,000 kilometers northwest of the Australian coast. By the time the first respondent arrived, which was a Taiwanese trawler, the vessel was still intact. Somehow during the transfer of passengers, the stricken vessel capsized. The stock market is up now, up about 113 points. We'll go to a word from our sponsors.
Every day, the world wakes up and goes to work, pursuing the unique opportunities that lead the global economy forward. The complexity and close connectivity of today's global marketplace is a true modern miracle that can create unparalleled success. But it takes confidence, passion, innovation, and understanding.
Enabling opportunity.
Protecting capital.
Engineering innovation. Investing in your future.
Ensuring continuity.
Finding the right balance.
It takes Aon.
European regulators said late Friday that European insurers will undergo stress tests in December to help policymakers assess their resilience to shocks and to improve supervision. The EU-wide exercise will focus on market and credit risks and will test 3 scenarios. Scenario 1 will be an adverse shock that reflects the performance of capital markets between the end of September 2008 and end of September 2009. The second will mirror a more prolonged and severe recession, and the third reflects a situation of inflation picking up rapidly that will lead to a steep increase in interest rates. The Committee of European Insurance and Occupational Pension Supervisors has announced this. The stress test will include all large and important insurance groups in Europe. The Financial Times is reporting that Aviva, Allianz, and AXA would be among those insurers that would be tested. Meanwhile, in the U.S., Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway on Friday sold 1.15 million shares of Moody's. Berkshire still owns 38 million shares of Moody's. Berkshire had previously sold 8 million shares of the company back in July and reported selling close to 800,000 shares of it in September. Berkshire owns 16.1% of Moody's outstanding